Whenever you're ready, just give me a countdown.
Alrighty. Alright, it's Burning Rangers to Sega Saturn, and start countdown in 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty. So this game came out 1998, made by a Sonic team with Yuji Naka. They're just trying to try something new, avoiding doing Sonic. And this is one of the games they came up with.
Chris to all Rangers.
So here we're firefighters, but we're not going to really be fighting fires or saving people. We're just going to be killing evil monsters and robots. So movement's fairly simple for the most part, but there are some complicated movements. There's different kinds of jumps you can do, and it has kind of like a Mega Man slide going on, where you can, if you press the jump button and a direction at the same time, you'll do a dash.
Be careful. Listen for a sound before the explosion, okay, Tillis? You'll be able to go from there.
So our goal is to get to the end of the level and avoid rescuing people that we don't have to. There's 4 mandatory people that we have to rescue, but other than that, it just wastes time. So like the fire has a weird hitbox. It's like low to the ground. You can just barely fly over it. Oops, got caught in the wall. So this is one of the jumps that we do to skip a bunch of platforming. And if you double tap jump, you can do a high jump. If you jump and then jump again after a delay, you'll do a lower jump, but you'll have more control over your horizontal movement.
Tillis, looks like the power has been completely shut down in that sector.
So this level is mostly like hitting switches, turn the lights back on. It's basically just an introductory level to get you handle on how the game runs.
Tillis, there should be an elevator directly in front of you. It will take you underground to sector D103.
So like during the game you'll have like voice navigation that basically tells you where you need to be going.
Keep going straight.
And for the most part we're just ignoring it because we know where to go.
There is an elevator
we're playing from a new game. Basically, if you replay a level that you already beaten, it'll be randomly generated. So doors and switches will be in different places, and as will random rescue people.
Turn to the right.
So we start from a new game because it's always the same the first time around.
The inner shutter opened. Let's go in.
And there's 2 characters you can play as. They both play exactly the same. We play as Tillis, the female. She's about like 3 seconds faster. Oops, I already hit that switch.
Doctor!
And this game is full of like voice actor cutscenes that you can't skip. But it gives you like a little bit of a break in between movements, since the movement's pretty technical.
Leave him to me, don't worry.
Confirming the transport coordinates. Begin transport.
And like one of the biggest notes about this game that people really know is the theme song, which has appeared in a lot of games. And the music in general is a very excellent. Sonic team, especially in the 90s, was known for making excellent soundtracks. And you'll be hearing plenty of that throughout the game.
Tillis, the power has been shut off here too. Hurry and find
So once again the power is shut off.
Turn to the right.
This is big. Elevators.
So if you don't know where you're going, it's really easy to get lost.
Try using the elevator shaft.
There should be a switch near you.
This is Tillis. I found the emergency override switch.
So if you notice that red bar at the top, as it's like the green and red bar, basically when it hits completely red, there'll be a series of explosions that happen at your location, basically to punish you for not putting out fires. And in some places it can get a little dangerous depending on when it occurs, especially like if you're in a tight corridor or underwater, it can be very dangerous. And it causes a lot of lag too, since the game doesn't exactly run at stellar frame rates.
Copy that.
But the movement is very smooth in this game for the most part.
Keep going straight.
But as you can see, it can get slowed really fast.
It's moving into the plant site. Take a left there. Tillis, it's entered sector D308. The central computer.
So we do a damage boost through there just to avoid having to put out the flames. And as you can see, it's getting kind of hectic with the explosions.
Joe, make sure you focus on the rescue. Man, you worry too much.
Go down. Enter that room.
So now we're in the final room. We're going to be rescuing the doctor of the facility. And he'll tell us about a nasty boss that we have to take care of. It's going to be lots of fun.
I found a survivor.
The first boss of the game is fairly easy. The fight's really is laggier than the others.
What?
Just because there's a lot going on, but it's a very easy fight.
The doctor's coordinates immediately. Your priority is to secure the doctor's safety.
And then we'll be doing a little skip before the boss to just avoid having to do some platforming. Because basically there's like a spiral of platforming sections that you do to get up to the boss. And we'll just skip it by doing a double jump.
Listen to me, young lady. We've been
And it'll be coming up in... Ooh, got caught on the wall.
mutated and
So basically, damage is basically like the Sonic games, where as long as you have at least one crystal, you'll survive any hit.
the computer will be restored to normal, I hope.
The core is located in the
Okay,
farthest room.
so we'll be standing right here, double jump, and then we'll grab onto that ledge and just allows us to skip all the
Yes, that's
platforming.
it. The center of that flower.
So we have a gun for damage. There we go. And we want to hit the bulb. And sometimes the lock-on can be a little finicky, especially if you're not facing it properly. So basically you have two types of attacks. You have a regular attack and a charged attack. The regular attack is used for just putting out fires. And the charged attack, you can also put out fires with that, but you won't get any crystals from putting out fires if you do that. They'll get and any crystals that are on the field will be destroyed that get hit by it. So this fight's just going a little rough just because my inputs keep getting eaten by the lag. So while most cutscenes are unskippable, there are animated cutscenes between certain missions that are skippable.
You know what I need right now? A hot shower.
Well done, Rangers. Let's leave the rest to the cleanup crew.
And so basically after every mission there's going to be like a results screen, and it just goes right to the next mission after that. And so here we'll be skipping the first animated cutscene, which is a shame. They're actually pretty nice cutscenes, and the voice acting's pretty decent. There's like a lot of familiar Sonic or Sega cast from the 90s that do voice acting here. Like one of the characters is voiced by the original guy who did Knuckles, and it's a pretty distinctive voice. So now we're in the second mission. This is the longest one in the game. There's a lot of cutscenes, some fairly long corridors, and it's probably the most risky of them up until the first checkpoint, because there's a very big gap between the start and the first checkpoint.
Tillis, head for the director's office. You might find the cause of the fire in that sector.
And this is the first time we'll see underwater sections, and basically we just want to mash the jump and gun button to go through the water a lot faster.
Chris, are you
Basically,
sure
one button raises you in the water and one button lowers you.
Says the park was closed today. Only maintenance crews are inside.
And just by alternating between each button really fast, it allows you to move faster under the water. So we're just gonna fly over the fire. Go in here. We want to go into this vent.
In that room. You should be able to enter it.
Okay.
And then I'll let us open the door to where we need to go next.
A shutter is open.
And so this level has a couple of sub-bosses, I guess. They're like enemies that you have to kill in order to progress.
Tillis, do you see a...
So here we meet Echo the Dolphin, if anyone's familiar with that series of games. And we gotta save
I'll
Echo.
help you.
It looks like the water circulation system is stopped. There must be a control room in this area.
Oof. So that can be kind of tricky to get through.
The control room is right above you.
But as long as we have one crystal, we're always gonna be fine.
Circulation system reactivated. A shutter has been unlocked. Get going.
So now that we've rescued the dolphin,
You must
he'll help us
hurry.
out later.
Boy, am I glad you're okay.
This is big. I found 15 people.
Oof. Okay, barely made it. So we hit. This is the first checkpoint right here. If we had died before that, we would have had to restart the entire level.
Tillis, the director's office.
Okay,
is
so
on
now
that
we're good again
floor.
with the crystals.
No available data on the layout. You must find the director's office on your own.
Roger.
So now our goal is to save the director to get the key card.
That's strange. Our report said that the park was closed today.
I'll send them out. Maybe you can get some info.
So this is one of the first of the 2 sub-bosses that we have to kill. And we can move during this cutscene. Very, very easy. You can only kill it with charged shots, but that first one's very easy. The second one's a little bit more difficult because there's 3 of them. There's only one that you technically have to kill, but it's very difficult to deal just one of them without dying.
The office is down there.
Because the one you have to kill is all the way in the back of the room, and we'll get to that when we get there.
Do you know what caused the fire?
That earthquake.
But there was no earthquake recorded.
I'll send you out. You can answer questions later. Coordinates set. We got a call from somewhere.
Confirmed. Ready to transport.
So during this cutscene, we get the key card right there that'll let us continue forward in the area.
This is security at the recreation area. Is anybody there? We have about 200 visitors trapped inside here. We need help.
200? That's not what our reports say.
Chris!
Tillis, head to the monitor room. We need accurate data, fast. Use the ID card to open the hatch.
Okay.
So there's absolutely no region differences between the US and the Japanese versions of this game.
Don't depend on your shield too much.
They're exactly the same except for the voice acting. The Japanese, of course, has Japanese voice acting, but all the menus and
you need to find the ID
all the cutscenes are exact same length. All the menus are in English. Everything's in English except the voice acting in the Japanese version.
I'm entering the water channel.
And that's pretty typical of Sonic Team in the 90s.
Can we make any headway?
We have to. This is the shortest way. Let's go.
Okay.
Whoa!
So here's another one of those
Tillis,
robots,
there's
but we
a
can
large
just get
energy
past
read
it.
In your area. Watch yourself.
Okay.
Mrs. Reed.
A little bad luck with the fire, but that's fine.
Man, there's fire everywhere.
So now here we get the map for the area, which doesn't do anything for us because there's no map.
Chris, get ready for the
But it's basically just for like the story to give it to the people helping you out.
Reed and Big are already there for the rescue.
I'm going there to help too.
You must evacuate. It's too far from your location. We don't have enough time.
Chris, the dolphin was saying something about a monster.
And
Maybe the
Tillis
key to
can
saving
speak with
everyone.
dolphins
I'm
somehow.
gonna find out what he's talking about.
Monster.
So this dialogue is slightly different in the if you play as Show, the other character. Basically, I don't remember exactly what the difference is, but basically he can't speak with dolphins, so he doesn't understand. So he gets this information some other way.
We found them.
There's not 200 people down here. There's even more.
Just relax, Reed. We'll just transport.
Tillis, count me in. We can do it.
Thanks. Let's go.
So fire has this like interesting property where it pushes you up if you're over it.
Got it. Be careful. Chris, the water level of this floor is rising fast. I'll move them to the upper level first.
Okay.
Shoot.
Reed, your shield level just dropped. Are you all right?
Resupplying energy to the shields. I'm fine. Back to our mission.
Please be careful.
We can't
Oops,
reach
wrong
the
way.
lower level from here. Let's take a shortcut. The water channel.
Okay, so now we're back underwater,
Oh, there you are.
and the dolphin's gonna
Can
give
you
us a
let me out?
ride.
Can you take me to the bottom of this building? Wow, this is great. Whee!
So the dolphin, being the bro, is gonna help us get lower in the facility.
Thank you. I'll take care of the rest.
Tillis,
I'm not going back.
the new data analysis indicates an existence of a huge energy reading at the bottom. Maybe this is what you were talking about.
Oof.
Chris!
Tillis, I believe you.
Ah, that was rough. I didn't get any crystals back after that, but luckily there should be a checkpoint right there. So like one of the issues of having an upscaler, like I'm running through an upscaler, and basically the menus in this game are in 480i while the gameplay is in 240p, and the upscaler has an issue with swapping resolutions.
Come on, Tillis. We know you can do it.
Okay, there we go. Basically, I just had to wait for the floor to explode, and I accidentally hit a fire.
Right. Eat my dust.
I've moved the survivors to safer ground.
Wow!
Oof, I'm getting hit hard. Oh, okay, I have a crystal.
Tillis, there's a large energy reading in your area. Watch yourself.
Okay, now we're back underwater. This level is definitely a heavy on the underwater segment since we're in an underwater facility.
I won't be able to provide accurate navigation data while you're in the water, so be careful.
We're running out of crystals. I can't transport any more survivors.
Show's on his way. Hold on. Tillis.
Boy, what are you doing here?
Tillis, what is he saying?
He
And now the
says
dolphin
there's a
buddy's here to help
monster
us again.
below. He says it's been the cause of this mess. What? Can you take me there?
And the dolphin knows what's going on.
I'm ready.
So sometimes corners can hold you in place for a little bit if you're not careful. Let's see, there we go.
Chief, what exactly is under the lab?
An old transmitting device was found when the lab was built, but I don't think that caused the earthquake.
There we go. So sometimes it can get a little disorienting moving underwater because the camera you don't really control the camera like you can with the triggers, but the camera has a mind of its own as well.
Tillis, time is running out.
Don't depend on your shield too much.
Tillis, hurry up, but don't panic. Stay calm.
Tillis, quick. There's not much time left.
Okay, just a second.
Okay. And we're almost to the end of the level.
Wow!
Whoa. Okay, so this is pretty bad. Hopefully the explosion stops soon, because this is rough.
Tillis, there are a number of energy readings around you.
So there's 3 robots in this room, but technically you only have to kill the one in the far back, but it can be very tricky because of that green flame there that spews fire at you. Let's see, where's the other robot? It's like one strategy to do is to just run all the way to the back of the room and just kill that last robot.
Hurry up. Lives are at stake.
Alright, now we're going into the boss's level, which is a giant fish. And basically, this battle is going to take place in another circular field. There are going to be several platforms we can stand on, and there's water underneath.
So you're the problem child.
The fish occasionally will knock the platforms down, so we have to move from platform to platform. So basically his invincibility frames are kind of random on when they actually trigger. And all you can do is just hope that it actually locks on and he doesn't have invincibility frames. Like that. Alright, last hit.
Get out of the water.
Alright, and this crystal here starts appearing, which becomes a focus of the next level.
Did Tillis make it? Hey, are we floating up?
She did it. She destroyed the joint. Everyone's safe.
Tillis!
So now we single-handedly saved everybody, and we get to enjoy this nice little cutscene.
Chris, where's Tillis? What happened to her?
Don't worry, she's okay.
There she is.
This is great! Chris, it's okay if I ride on his back for a while, right? Please?
Okay, but only if I can get to ride first.
So now we go on to level 3 where we get to go to space. Because that signal that set off the earthquake for the facility originated from a space station. So now we're going to go to the space station to find out the source of it.
This is Quadrant T119, Sector RK404. Crews are working on Firebird. Can you hear me?
And this is probably the most fun mission in the level for me.
No response.
What's the point of waiting here? Let's go investigate.
So you have like these anti-gravity segments where if you press the dash button, you'll descend in the air.
Big and show, enter from the starboard port.
Roger.
Looks like that elevator will only ascend.
So we're going to be hitting a couple switches here to open up the pathway to where we need to go.
You should be able to see a switch on the other side.
This is big. I've passed through the airlock. Confirmed simulated gravity of 0.9 G. I've also secured oxygen in this area.
This is Show. I've also passed through the airlock. Man, what an old colony. Guess I'll have to be careful where I step.
Okay,
This is
and
Reed.
one
I
more
found
switch
machine
here,
parts.
and then there's going to be
Look
one
like
more
they're
after this in the room we
processing
just came
things
from,
now, but I don't see any.
or the hallway
With
rather.
that, the shutter should open. There should be a switch on top. Try climbing up to reach it. It has aged quite a bit. Proceed carefully.
And so a hole is opened up and is pulling us back, and it's inhibiting our movement. You can break out of that movement if you get hit, but as this is a marathon, I don't really want to risk
A door
that,
has been activated. Come back.
because there's a blue flame there that can get in your way,
Doesn't look like anyone's here. There's only one escape pod left.
and then there's like these
Show,
random
what
drones that
happened?
are trying to kill you.
Nothing. I will continue to investigate.
Okay, go straight.
Nice. So sometimes that fire there can push you up into the door frame, making it a little bit difficult to get past. Luckily, this time that didn't occur.
Stop dismantling just because a small meteorite hit the colony.
Just a meteorite. Tillis, leave this one to me, and go rescue the workers.
Okay, leave the rescue to me, big guy.
Alright, so now after this room, there's going to be a worker robot that's going to try to attack us. It doesn't do anything, but we have to kill it in order to get past. No invincibility frames or anything, just a simple robot.
5 crew members. Hurry.
So now we're going to fly over that civilian there that needs to be rescued, because we don't need to rescue people. See, there we go. And hit another switch. Open up the door that's right near us.
Tillis, that area has already been secured. Go in through gate B03.
Roger.
Show it's dangerous. Stay back.
No way! People are still out there!
Find another route then. Remember.
Okay. So now we're going to be entering another zero gravity section. It's just this room. Very easy.
This is Reed. Found 5 crew members. I will transport them one at a time.
Roger. Great work, Reed.
Tillis, you're in charge of this area.
And this is probably the laggiest room in this level. There's just a lot going on. Especially if you get like random explosions, it gets really bad.
Oh my. Aren't you, Mel? What are you doing here?
I was
So now this will take us back to the room we were in previously with the anti-gravity. And we're going to be going down to a door right below us.
And to the right of you. Enter the door. Tillis, the dock will be scorched in a short while. The burning ship will break away and we will be waiting at a safe distance ready for transporting.
Okay, you be careful.
Alright, and this is the last switch we're going to be hitting for this level. So next we're going to be going through a little section where we can't get hit at all, otherwise it'll have us redo the section. Where we have to escort this little boy to the escape pod.
Who are you? I'm a Burning Ranger. I'm here to help you. Wow, you're a Burning Ranger, right? You're really a Burning Ranger. Yes, and I'll give you an autograph later. Chris, I'll transport him. Set coordinates.
Negative. Magnetic storm's jamming our systems. We can't transport him from here.
Find the escape pod. There should be one nearby.
So sadly, we can't just transport this kid like normal. We have to actually carry him.
I'm Tillis.
So this room is very laggy, very dangerous. If you fall, you have to start the room over, basically. And if you get hit, you have to start the room over.
Please hurry and get out of there.
Tillis! Neil, close your
But
eyes.
luckily, for the most part, it's pretty safe.
Tillis.
This is like the only like really risky jump because you can really easily miss it.
Hurry, get on! Tillis, there's only room for one
Now we get a little heartfelt conversation.
You're going to get in, of course. What about you, Tillis? I'll find another escape pod. I don't want to leave you. Be brave. He's waiting for you to come back. You don't want him to worry any more than he has to, right? Tillis, you have to promise me you'll come back and give me your autograph. I promise. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting till you come back. What have I gotten myself into? I can't break my promise with him.
So now after that, we go fight the boss of the area, which is very easy boss, very quick. Well, at least it can be quick. It depends all on how well your targeting is working at the time.
It's the same thing I saw on the lower level. Why? Run! Who is it? Who's there?
The defense systems have been activated. Hurry, get out of here.
So we're going to be doing jump charges because that's a lot faster than doing regular charges. Basically, the actual damage is that crystal. Okay, good. I got some crystals. So basically, the crystal has put like a bunch of robots parts together. Whoa. So one more hit, and nope. There we go. Very easy boss. Probably the easiest of the game. Because it's basically, he doesn't have any invincibility frames. The only thing that's stopping you from damaging him is his armor. And once the armor's gone, it's basically just relying on your auto target to actually hit it properly. So now we're going into the final mission. There's a lot of sections in this mission. And it's actually a really cool mission. It's hard, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Chris, come in! I lost her. What's going on out there? I need to get out of here.
So basically after that, we got blown into another part of the space station.
There's that voice again.
And now instead of our allies helping us, we're getting some chick.
Stay alert.
Let's see, there we go.
Go straight and then right.
Ah, I missed the jump. So basically there's a jump you can do there to avoid having to hit this switch and go up some platforms. But it's a tricky jump to make because there's like a beam in the way that's designed to prevent you from getting up there.
Go straight.
Let's see.
Go down.
And in this room right here, there's a mini boss that you're supposed to kill, but you can just go in the hole and avoid it completely. Because like there's no reason to kill it. You can just go into the hole that it's guarding. So now we're entering an underwater section, probably the most disorienting of them, because you have to keep going around a lot. Let's see.
Go up.
There we go. There we go, and made it through just fine. So now we're gonna try to do a little fast swim in. And now we're out of the water, but we're not out of the woods yet. Because we're going to be coming up to a very tricky platforming section that can really easily get you falling back all the way to the bottom.
Stay alert.
Alrighty. So this is probably the most difficult platforming section in the game, because movement in this game is a little finicky in general.
Go up.
And our goal is to get to the top and kill that crystal that we saw earlier. There we go. So now we're going to be doing a tricky jump over here. There we go, it made that, and we're almost to the top. Okay, almost there. And then the boss here is like basically there's going to be some unstable platforms that get unstable, that become even more unstable every time we hit the boss. And we don't want to fall, because even if you fall after the boss is dead, you'll have to still redo the section. And so far we're looking pretty good. Very nice. Very clean fight. So now we're skipping a cutscene that tells us about the woman that was talking to us.
Tillis, come in, Tillis. Do you read me?
Basically, all the events started happening because a cure was found for a disease that she was put into cryogenic stasis to basically so that a cure could be found for it.
Are you all right?
And the whole system was set in place to bring her back to Earth when the cure was found, but things have changed so much that now this big spaceship is on its way to a collision course to Earth, and it's going to cause a lot of damage if we don't stop it.
Destination, ship's central core. Full blast.
Roger.
So now we're going to entering a racing set, well, not a racing segment, basically a vehicle segment, where you don't want to get hit. Basically, you want to hit as many boosters as you can and avoid hitting obstacles. So that way you can go as fast as possible. But it's actually fairly hard to do because of just how fast things move. And with how tight some of the sections can be, especially near the end of this section. And we get treated to a nice pumping song. Alright, so that wasn't bad. That was about average.
Entering the ship's central area.
You can save a lot of time if you hit the boost and avoid the obstacles, though.
Roger. Chris, go back outside and wait for us there.
Okay. Good luck to you all.
Same as always.
We can do it.
You can count on us.
Okay, everyone, let's do it.
Roger.
Alright, so now we're going to be reaching the final section of the level, getting close to the final boss. So basically, there's going to be a mid-boss and a sub-boss in the next section before we reach the final boss. And here we're going to be doing a skip that skips a very large portion of the level and a few cutscenes as well. So we're going to jump up here. But we got to be careful not to walk too far forward, otherwise we'll get caught in a cutscene with big landman. So I just screwed that up. So now we want to turn around, double jump, and get up there. And that'll skip a very significant chunk of the level. And that's basically the only like real major skip. So now we're going to be fighting this mid-boss here. And that we can only damage when its eye is open. And then you can generally get into a rhythm on damage. Very safe. It's a very safe fight if you get into the rhythm. And if you die to that boss, and you do it again, you'll be forced to watch a cutscene. That normally doesn't occur when you do this, just because of how the skip works. But if you die, then everything will proceed as normally, and you'll get the cutscene. So now we're gonna go against this sub-boss right before the final boss. And this one's really easy. Basically, it's just like a reactor core. But they control you sometimes because it has a shield that it pops up, and sometimes it control you with it. Like that shield right there. Alright, very nice fight. So now we're coming up on the final boss, and time will be on the final hit. I'll call it.
I'm ready whenever it happens.
Alrighty. So this boss has 4 phases. Well, not 4 phases, but 4 separate attacks, and each one gets some more devastating the more damage the boss takes. So the first phase, he just drops those things. Ooh, we got hit. And so our goal is to try to get double hits on him. Because of the way lag works in this game, we can sometimes buffer a double hit. But it all depends on whether or not your targeting decides to cooperate. Yeah, and right there, I tried to get a double hit off, but ate my input with the lag. Okay, so just need a crystal. And I got my input eaten again. I was like primed for a double hit too. Oh, it's bad. Okay, please let there be a crystal. Yes. Okay, we're on our final hit. And nice easy phase. And time.
37:45.
Really? That's pretty good.
What's your PB?
Worse than that, I think.
Oh well, there you go. I guess you'll have to retime this.
Yeah, I wish I remembered to local record it.
That's okay. I can just make 2 worlds, highlight it, and
Yeah.
Prepare to board.
But thanks so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
There's nothing we can do.
yeah. Thanks for doing your run.
And I'll be back after Ristar with Nubo. Another fun run.
All right. We'll be back in just a minute with the Peter Afro for Sonic Advanced.
Sonic
Stick
Advance? I thought it was Sonic Adventure.
Sonic Adventure? I thought it was Sonic Advance.
I don't know.
Wait. It's Sonic Adventure. You're right.
Alright, take care.